Should your former Republican colleagues in Congress support that deal?
Why doesn't President Biden take action today? I mean, today can be day one. He can immediately announce that he's reinstating the stay in Mexico policy. He can immediately announce that he's going to refocus on building a wall. He can do those today. I listened to Nancy Pelosi talk earlier. She's been in Congress for decades and has talked about immigration for decades. And what has she accomplished? We have a president that has all the tools that he needs to protect our country today, and he's refusing to do that. So to look at Congress and expect them to pass a bill when they failed for decades to do this, and then to say we have to accept this poison pill of a bill that it essentially codifies illegal immigration. What it would do is put into statute that people can now come here illegally, and is just a terrible bill that I think President Trump is exactly right. It should not pass, and push President Biden to take action.
All right, guys, so we have to follow up on this issue of the border crisis and this legislation that's in the Senate that the establishment Republicans and Democrats want to pass to give Joe Biden the ability to secure the border, even though Joe Biden already has the ability to disincentivize illegal immigration and to secure the border more so than it is now through executive action. In fact, Biden has come into office and signed 94 executive actions in the first 100 days to decimate border security. Now, Biden, again, he could do a lot for border security by simply reinstating some of Trump's policies like remain in Mexico, ending catch and release, using the Border Patrol to actually do what the Border Patrol is supposed to do, which is to protect the border, not to facilitate illegal immigrants coming into the country, which is what they're essentially doing now. These are the things that Biden can do as an executive to help secure the border. But he refuses to do these things. Instead, he has his hand out begging for money, not to actually secure the border, but to help facilitate more illegal immigration into the country, which is exactly what this so-called bipartisan bill would do. But despite these facts, you have the mainstream liberal media carrying water for the Biden administration once again and trying to pretend that this bill needs to be passed in order for Biden to do everything that he can as an executive to secure the border. And I want to react to this interview of Kari Lake destroying this CNN anchor who is, again, trying to push the propaganda of the establishment when it comes to this border deal. That, again, the main purpose of the deal is not to secure the border, is to allow more illegal immigrants into the country, to give the Democrats a win on this issue in exchange for sending money overseas to Ukraine and Israel and all these other countries that the establishment powers that be want money to go to. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this.
On what basis does he, Trump, oppose the border bill that's being negotiated in the Senate? Instead of answering the question, they said, well, you should talk to Kari Lake. So here you are. What's the answer? Why does Trump oppose this bipartisan bill?
Because it is terrible for the American people. And President Trump stands for the American people. He's all about making a deal, but not a garbage deal. And you're cherry picking whatever you just showed there. And you're forgetting the part that this bill does nothing to further build the wall. And by the way, the wall does work. Otherwise, Joe Biden wouldn't have had it welded in the open position to allow this invasion. It doesn't do anything to stop the fentanyl pouring across. This bill would actually legalize nearly 2 million of these illegal immigrants every single year. This bill does nothing to help the American people. And it also, by the way, sends money to Ukraine. And the American people are sick and tired of it.
Facts. Again, this is why I love Kari Lake, right? I'm not necessarily sure if Kari Lake will win her Senate race. The polls indicate that she has a good chance. It's basically a three-way race because you have Kyrsten Sinema, who's a Democrat, that declared that she's an independent. Kyrsten Sinema is also behind this border deal, okay, the bipartisan border deal here. But I know for sure she would be an amazing press secretary, okay? If she doesn't win her Senate race, I think that Trump should definitely pick her as press secretary. I think that it's a no-brainer, right? She may want to be a politician, but I think she's best served actually going after the press and pushing back against the narrative. I think that that is what she would be best at, okay? I think that she is most qualified for the position of press secretary. She would be absolutely amazing at that.
They're absolutely sick and
If you were
tired.
listening,
This bill should have
if you
two
were
things
listening
in it.
to my
You should
earlier,
have a wall
Kari, if you
and
were
health
listening,
care.
if you were listening to my earlier conversation with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., you heard me say, do the simple math. 1.8 million still seems annually like too many. But I was raised to believe that half a loaf is better than none at all. So
wow, listen to this, right? Again, so I want you guys to understand the narrative here is that, well, the GOP, Trump specifically, they are keeping Biden from securing the border by not supporting this bill. But then this guy literally just admits that, well, yeah, it allows about 2 million illegals into the country. But hey, that's better than 3 million or 4 million or 5 million. So I was taught that getting something is better than getting nothing. So essentially you're admitting that it doesn't secure the border because 2 million illegals per year is not a secure border. So how can you sit here and try to tell me that passing this bill would secure the border when you're literally admitting that it won't, right? Again, it's amazing. It's amazing. Again, the propaganda is that, well, Trump doesn't want to secure the border. He wants a wide open border because he doesn't support this bill that does not secure the border. And they're literally admitting that it doesn't secure the border, right? Again, the gaslighting on this issue is incredible, right? It really is.
If it would enable the shutdown if overwhelmed, speed up the asylum process, and raise the standard for asylum claims, why not take the win? Because if you don't, it looks like Trump is now acting like Nixon or John Connally on Reagan's behalf to just try and save the win for himself.
Well, it's not a win. If you're still allowing 2 million illegals into the country, that's not a win, right? In what world is that a win? It might be a win for Democrats because it's giving Democrats everything they want, okay? They're going to have amnesty, okay? They're going to be able to speed up the asylum claim process, okay? They're going to grant work authorizations and permits. Some of these liberal cities that are struggling with the illegal immigration crisis, they're going to get the money that they've been begging for. Again, this is going to be a W for the left when it comes to appealing to progressives, okay? They're going to still allow illegals into the country, which is what the left wants, and they want more money to fund it. This is a W for Democrats. Now, what are Republicans going to go back to conservatives and say about this, right? About this bill? Oh, well, we still allow 2 million illegals into the country, but hey, we gave Joe Biden the ability to secure the border, right? Again, conservatives are going to be like, what is this garbage? What are you doing? You're trying to piss on my leg and tell me that it's raining, because that's exactly what a Republican would be doing, going back to his base and trying to brag about this bill, claiming that they help secure the border when you're literally allowing 2 million illegals into the country per year. It doesn't make sense. And then also on top of that, you're sending money overseas, which is something that the conservative base doesn't want, especially to Ukraine. So again, where's the W at for conservatives? There's nothing bipartisan about this bill, okay? There's nothing bipartisan about it. This is a uniparty establishment bill. Again, you got to understand, some of these Republicans, like for example, Mitt Romney, okay, a lot of these guys, when Trump was trying to secure the border in regards to building the border wall, they pushed back against him. Okay, we had a whole government shutdown over the wall. Okay, and there was some Republicans that were pushing back against Trump over it. Okay, because they really don't want to secure the border. These super pro-business corporate Republicans, they love open borders. Right? Why? Because it's cheap labor. Okay, a lot of these Republicans, just like Democrats, they're bought and sold by the big corporations who love illegal immigrants, okay? Because they come over here and they work, they do these jobs for cheap, right? Cheap labor, okay? So you got to understand, there's a reason why, even in a so-called bipartisan bill where you have Republicans who are supposed to be tough on the border, okay, who's supposed to want to secure the border, they're literally trying to pass legislation that doesn't do that. It's quite literally because they support illegal immigration, right? This is what I'm trying to tell you. Some of this is a psyop, right? In the sense that, yes, there are a lot of people in the Republican Party that they'll talk tough on it. But when it comes to actually doing something about it, they're not going to do anything about it because they know that their donors, they support illegal immigrants coming to the country. Now, here's another thing I disagree with Republicans on when it comes to this issue. And, you have some, people coming out here saying that, oh, we don't need a bill. We don't need a bill in order to secure the border. No, we actually do need a bill. Okay. And the reason why we need a bill, we don't need this bill, but we need a bill, is literally because of what's happening right now. Passing a bill, aka the Secure the Border Act, which is Republican legislation that they should be saying that, hey, this is what we want to do, rather than saying that we don't need a bill. They really should be saying, no, we need this bill. We need our bill. The reason why you need a bill is because a bill does not allow the president to just repeal or to undo what the last president did through executive action. That's what you're seeing right now with the Biden administration. If Republicans had passed a bill when they had power under Trump, then Biden couldn't just come in and just undo everything Trump did, because what would have been passed under Trump, if it was passed through Congress, would have been a law, right? It would have been law. Okay, so the president just can't come in through executive action and undo a law, but they can come in through executive action and undo what the last president did through executive action. So again, that's why you actually do need a bill. So again, the framing here from some of the Republicans, even the Republicans that are opposed to the bipartisan bill, is still not correct. You can't come out here and keep saying that we don't need a bill when we actually do need a bill. Saying we don't need a bill is giving up on your own legislation and is an excuse not to do anything and to continue to point the blame at Joe Biden for refusing to do something that you know he's not going to do, right? You already know he's not going to want to secure the border. You already know he doesn't want to. So that's why you can't come out here and keep saying we don't need a bill. No, you do need a bill, right? So when Trump gets in office, that's not an excuse just to say, well, Trump's back in office, he's going to implement his executive actions to help secure the border, and that's enough. No, it's not enough. When Trump gets back in office, if Republicans have a majority in the Senate and the House, we need a Republican secure the border bill legislation that cannot just be repealed and overturned by the next president that gets into office with executive action. So again, I'm not buying into any of the gaslighting from anybody, any side involved in this, whether that be Democrats, the establishment Republicans that support this bill, or the Republicans that don't support the bill. Everybody is gaslighting to a certain extent. Okay, so again, we don't need this bill, okay, but we need a bill, okay, and in that bill, what we need is mass deportations. We need to complete and finish the wall. Maybe we need the military at the border as well, too, and we definitely need to rework the asylum laws and the policies that we have on the books to not allow illegal immigrants to take advantage of the asylum-seeking process at the border, okay? Again, a lot of this stuff is in the Republican legislation that for whatever reason, they don't market enough. They don't market it enough. And it's extremely frustrating.
I assure you, if a deal came out of Washington, D.C. that secured that border, stopped the Biden invasion, stopped the fentanyl from pouring across, that President Trump would get behind that. This is not about politics. He cares about the American people, which is why he single-handedly secured that border when he was president, and he had all kinds of political daggers coming at him. I live in Arizona. You're sitting in Manhattan. I'm here in Arizona where we have it the worst right now. We have tens of thousands of people crossing a day. We have Narcan in elementary schools because there's so much fentanyl pouring across our border that it's getting into the hands of our children. And President Trump cares about securing America, making our streets safe. He would support a deal that did that. But this deal is absolute garbage.
I wonder if he's jeopardizing the strongest political hand that he has. Here is what Senator Mitt Romney had to say. Listen to this.
Notice how Kari Lake laughs when this guy brings up Mitt Romney, right? Kari Lake is hilarious.
We have a crisis at the border. The American people are suffering as a result of what's happening at the border. And someone running for president ought to try and get the problem solved, as opposed to saying, hey, save that problem. Don't solve it. Let me take credit for solving it later.
Isn't that the perception that will take hold?
Thank you for giving me a good laugh. I needed one to start the day. You're going to take Mitt Romney.
Well, go ahead and respond. Respond substantively.
I'll respond to that. Mitt Romney is not a good deal maker. President Trump knows a bad deal when he sees it, and this is a bad deal for the American people. This does nothing to shore up our national security. We have millions of people, more than 12 million here illegally, countless that are here with nefarious reasons to hurt America. And this does nothing to root out those terrorists and stop them from coming in. 168 countries. That's how many people are coming in from 168 countries around the globe. And we're not vetting them. They're coming from countries with known ties to terrorism. And it's a matter of time before the American people are hurt. I'm a mother. I'm tired of watching what's happening on the border. And other Americans feel the same way, Michael. We can't continue along like this. And President Trump wants to see real security, not some horrible deal that ties us down to accepting millions of people who are here illegally to stay here. These people have come illegally.
So let me say this.
And they shouldn't be allowed to stay.
Mitt is not alone on the politics of this. The Wall Street Journal editorial page, not exactly a progressive or liberal bastion. I'll read it to you as I put it on the screen.
Yeah, but it's establishment Republican bastion, though, right? Again, you got to understand. Wall Street Journal is pro big business, right? Hence, that's why it's called the Wall Street Journal. Okay, and you know, big business Republicans love illegal immigration. Like I tried to tell you guys, that's why a lot of this is gaslighting and a psyop going on here with this.
Giving up on border security bill would be a, quote, listen to this now, self-inflicted GOP wound. President Biden would claim with cause that Republicans want border chaos as an election issue rather than solving the problem. There's more to it, but you would say what to the Wall Street Journal, Kari Lake?
I would say they're absolutely wrong. I mean, we've watched this border, I call it the Biden invasion, carry on for years now under Joe Biden. He came in on day one and peeled back an effective plan that President Trump had in place. He and his corrupt government administration is aiding and abetting this invasion at our border. And we need to go down there, finish the wall, get National Guard troops on the border, and stop these people from pouring across. And then we need to sort out the 12 million people who are here. And in order to save our homeland, we need to send them back to their homeland and start repatriating these people back to their homeland. We can't afford to take on all the world's problems. We have so many problems of our own here, and we're forgetting about the American people.
Facts. That was amazing, right? That was amazing from Kari Lake, okay? Couldn't have done it better myself, okay? Yeah, I think Kari Lake will be an amazing press secretary if she doesn't win her Senate race. But regardless, again, what you see there, again, is gaslighting from the media. They're trying their best to try to blame Trump for allowing the border to be open when he's not even in office, right? First and foremost, because he doesn't want to support a deal that doesn't close the border. And they admit and they'll tell you, yeah, well, you know, 2 million is better than 5 million or 6 million. So therefore, this guy, you know, he doesn't want the border to be secure. Well, again, 2 million illegals a year that's not a secure border, right? That's not a secure border. So again, it's absolutely amazing, all the gaslighting here coming from the media. But yeah, it looks like this deal is not going to go through, and it shouldn't go through. Okay, anything less than the Secure the Border Act from the Republicans is not enough. Okay, and we should be demanding everything we want when it comes to this issue because the American people agree with us. There's not been more support for securing the border in this country than right now. Okay, in regards to bipartisanship, I'm talking about among the actual American people. So this is something that Republicans should take advantage of. And even if they have to shut down the government to get the legislation passed to force the Biden administration's hand, then they should, right? It's time to start playing hardball with these people and just actually really force the legislation down their throats, okay? Just because you don't have a majority in the Senate doesn't mean that you still can't get what you want to get done if you actually play hardball. If you hold their feet to the fire and say the American people agree with this, this is what they want, okay, and you blame the Democrats for the government shutting down for not getting on board what the American people want, that's how you win, right? That's how you win. So, hey, regardless, I think Biden loses, right, if nothing happens. And, you know, at the end of the day, Republicans don't have to compromise, and they shouldn't. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.